Hey y'all, welcome to the channel. I'm Andrea from Andrea Speaks TV, back to bring you more news and commentary you can use. Listen y'all, I want to read you a story that broke today. Let me know, have you heard about this? You know, there's so much going on in the world now. So much happening not only in the world but right here in our own country, right here in the United States. That's where I am. You know, you would think that, you know, our leaders would spend time making plans and coming up with real solutions to help the economy, to help lower, reduce inflation, reduce food prices. Aren't we paying a lot more for food, y'all? Goodness. I mean, we're paying a lot more for food. You know, gas prices are back on the rise. I've talked about that before. There's so many things that it seemed like our leaders, right, our current administration could be working on to better and to strengthen our economy, right? But for some reason, it seems like instead of doing that, really, you know, focusing on that, it seems like now they're going after gig workers. Okay, so listen to this, y'all. According to Reuters, okay, I'm doing my research. According to Reuters, okay, this came out today. The Biden labor proposal, I'm going to get into that. The Biden labor proposal shakes up the gig economy that relies on contractors. Okay, now listen to what's going on, y'all. Okay, actually, because I'm parked, let me take off my seatbelt. Okay, listen to this, y'all. Okay, this came out today, October 11th. All right, happy Tuesday, by the way. Listen, according to Reuters, okay, a U.S. Department of Labor rule proposed Tuesday would make it more difficult for companies to treat workers as independent contractors. A change, the article says, that is expected to shake up ride hauling, okay, or ride hailing, delivery, and other industries that rely on gig workers. Okay, listen to this, y'all. Now, actually, the article also says that gig company stocks were hammered by the news, with Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash all falling at least 10%, talking about their stock price, okay? Now, according to the article, again, this is from Reuters, the proposal would require, listen, y'all, the proposal would require that workers be considered employees entitled to more benefits and legal protections than contractors, okay, when they are, and I quote, economically dependent on a company, okay? It could have wide-ranging impacts on company profits and hiring, household incomes, and worker quality of life, okay? So let me ask you all a question. You know, sometimes, a lot of times, many times, right, an idea or a proposal or a legislation may look good on the surface, but when you really look into it, it may not be a good idea. So I'm asking you all, okay, you all help me understand this. Give me your thoughts, your opinions in the comments. Would this be something good? You know, they're saying that by companies being able to treat who would have been considered an independent contractor, now if they're able to treat them as an employee, they will be entitled to benefits. What else does it say? Sorry about that, y'all. I lost my place in the article. They would be, it would improve their quality of life. Things like that. Is that really the case? You all let me know. You may be a gig worker, someone you know. Let me know. Are they saying this is something good? Okay, now, according to the article, okay, the article also goes on to say, let me read this before I continue on, okay? I reread the paragraph that I just read. It says, the proposal would require that workers be considered employees entitled to more benefits and legal protections than contractors when they are, and I quote, economically dependent on a company. It could have wide-ranging impacts on company profits and hiring, household incomes, and worker quality of life. Now, I'm just thinking about companies like Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash, okay? I assume, you know, I do know people that have worked for these companies, that even work for them now, and it seems like now, unless something has changed, this is where I need your help understanding this, right? It seems like because they were considered independent contractors, right? They worked on their own time. They had they have flexible schedules. They decide when they want to work, okay? Nobody decides for them, from my understanding. Please correct me if I'm wrong, right? So now if they're considered, and you know, for many people, that was great because let's say if it's a parent, right? They make sure their children, I'm just using this as an example, okay? Let's say during the daytime, you know, the parent gets the children off to school. Maybe they want to pick up some hours, earn some extra income while the children are at school. Or let's say maybe someone that doesn't have, I'm just using examples, okay? I'm not saying this is the only circumstance where you can work for these companies, but the flexibility of the schedule, okay? The sense of independence and working on your own time and making a little extra money on the side. A lot of people like that. Is this an attempt to stop that? Were they saying, wait a minute, we need people to really, really be in the workforce. We can't have people, this is what it sounds like to me. Now, I'm just reading the article with you all, but I'm just thinking, okay, it sounds good, but is it really good? You know, I'm just thinking, okay, people, you know, they're already saying so many people quit their jobs, and whether they're becoming entrepreneurs or working for themselves or whatever it is they're doing now, there are still concerns about labor shortages, right? And a lot of people chose to work for companies like Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, because they could set their own schedule. You know, like I use the example of working during the daytime. Maybe they want to work in the evening, overnight. You know, people like the flexibility of that. And they were able to do that a lot, largely because they were independent contractors. But now if you change that and make them employees, wouldn't that mean that Uber and DoorDash and Lyft would have to decide for them when they work? Wouldn't that basically change the whole idea behind why people would want to work for those companies or work with those companies, partner with them in the first place? This is just what I'm thinking. Y'all let me know if I'm off. Andrea, you're thinking about this completely wrong. Please let me know, okay? Now, the article says, okay, continuing on, this is in Reuters, the final rule is expected next year, okay? So this won't be ruled on until 2023. And it says there's going to be, okay, the final rule is expected next year after a 45-day public comment period that begins Thursday. So there's going to be, starting Thursday, a 45-day public comment period. Now, what do you all think that people are going to say in that comment period? Do you think they're going to be for it or against it? Let me know your thoughts, okay? The article also says that the Labor Department said it will consider the workers, and I quote, opportunity for profit or loss, investment, permanency, the degree of control by the employer over the worker, and whether the work is an integral part of the employer's business, among other factors. Okay, think about that, y'all. Most federal and state labor laws, the article says, such as those requiring a minimum wage and overtime pay, only apply to a company's employees, okay, who can cost companies up to 30% more than independent contractor studies suggest. Now, the article also says that millions of Americans are working, and I quote, gig jobs, and this labor has become vital to some transportation, restaurant, construction, healthcare, and other industries. Okay, U.S. Labor Secretary Marty Walsh in a statement said businesses often misclassify vulnerable workers. He was quoted as saying that misclassification deprives workers of their federal labor protections, including their rights to be paid their full legally earned wages. Okay. Liz Schuler, president of the American Federation of Labor and Congress of Industrial Organizations, or AFL-CIO, said the proposal gives the government the tools to protect workers from the escalating problem of misclassification. Okay, what do you all think about that? Now, the article also goes on to say that the proposal rule is the latest move in a politically charged battle that has pitched Republicans and companies against Democrats and worker groups over the past decade. It will replace a Trump administration regulation that says workers who own their own businesses or who have the ability to work for competing companies, such as a driver who works for Uber and Lyft, can be treated as contractors. Okay, this is what he put into place, all right? Solicitor of Labor Seema Nanda, the department's top legal official, said on Tuesday that the Trump-era rule was out of step with decades of federal court decisions. Okay, the new proposal mirrors legal guidance issued by the Obama administration, which was withdrawn under former President Donald Trump. It also incorporates, the article says, elements of strict tests in U.S. states, including California, which require companies to treat most workers as employees under state wage laws. Okay, more than 1/3 of U.S. workers, or nearly 60 million people, the article says, did some freelance work in the past 12 months. A December 2021 survey by freelancing marketplace Upwork showed. Seth Harris, President Joe Biden's former top labor advisor, said the rule would not directly impact how courts determine whether workers are employees or independent contractors. Instead, the article says, it will influence the Labor Department's, and I quote, own enforcement activities and the position it takes in litigation. How does that sound, y'all? He said, allowing the department to argue for a much broader definition of employees under the Fair Labor Standards Act in courts. Now, here's what businesses, worker groups had to say. This is how they reacted. Now, worker advocacy groups welcomed the announcement, while employer groups were critical. Listen, y'all. Nicole Moore, okay, who the article says is a part-time Lyft driver, and the president of the group Rideshare Drivers United, said it was, and I quote, really important step to clarify rules at a federal level that she hoped would inspire lawmakers to change laws and clarify and codify against misclassification. Okay, Christina Brown, who drives for Uber and Lyft in Arizona, says she makes $25 to $60 an hour, but describes what she takes home as a minimum wage. Gig workers' pay is eroded by expenses like gas, insurance, and car payments. Okay, Brown, however, feels the, and I quote, government needs to stay out of how the middle class makes money. Y'all, I've heard a lot of people talk about that when it comes to many different things. Okay, how do y'all feel about this? Groups including the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. Okay, maybe you have a local Chamber of Commerce in your city, but it says groups including the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, the largest U.S. business lobbying group, and associated builders and contractors. They argue that any broad rule would hurt workers who want to remain independent and have flexibility. And that's what I was saying, y'all. You know, are they trying to take away the sense of, okay, I'm on my own time, I'm working for, you know, I'm making my own money when I want to? Is it that they want us all to, you know, be a part of this system where, okay, we tell you when you're working for this person, and we tell you when you come to work and how long you can work and how often you can work? Is this what this is really about? Listen, y'all, the National Retail Federation said on Tuesday that it staunchly opposes a change, quote, and called the rule unnecessary. Lyft said it would have no immediate or direct impact, I quote, on its businesses at this time. Uber asked the administration to listen to workers. Okay, what do the workers have to say about this? Now, reclassification of workers as employees would essentially throw the business model upside down and cause some major structural changes if this holds. Okay, and that was by a Wedbush analyst, Dan Ives, said in a research note on Uber and Lyft. So I don't know, y'all. Like I said, a lot of times they try to introduce ideas and proposals and legislations, and they try to make it sound good, like, yeah, you know, this is going to protect workers, and they're going to be able to get access to benefits and you know, other things. But when you look into it, it's like, wait a minute, this isn't a good idea. Why do they really want to do that? Or there could be some other type of hidden agenda. So you all let me know your thoughts on this. Please comment below. Thank you all so much for taking the time to listen and tune in and support the channel. I'll be back with more news and commentary you can use.